Ariel Helwani at UFC 143 in Las Vegas alongside Carlos Condit, who meets Nick Diaz this Saturday night live on pay-per-view. And Carlos, thank you for the time. Good to see you again. First things first, what have you thought about Primetime? I thought we got to see a whole different side of you, family side. Met your father, your son, your wife. Have you enjoyed it?
I think the shows came out great. Filming for the show, on the other hand, it's not really my favorite thing to do. But for the most part, they were just kind of following me around doing what I was going to be doing anyway.
You're a pretty reserved guy. Was it hard to sort of let them into your world?
Yeah, I'm a private person, and it's difficult. It's not my favorite thing in the world to do, but it's part of promoting the fight, and if it gets people interested in me as a fighter, and it gets people interested in this fight, then so be it.
Was there anything that you didn't feel comfortable doing?
Well, I didn't feel comfortable with the whole thing, man. But you just deal with it.
Yeah. What did you think of the end of the second episode when they sort of brought George into the picture there, and it seemed to be like they were sort of hinting at the possible George Diaz fight, and then you sort of entered back into the picture? Did you feel as though you were sort of the forgotten man there for a second?
Yeah, well, the last part of that episode, it was the Nick Diaz GSP show, and that's fine. I'm not really. It doesn't hurt my feelings at all. They're kind of, starting to promote that fight, before this one's even happened, and I'm looking to mess up the plans and step in there and beat Diaz and walk away with the interim belt.
Do you get the sense, and everyone respects you, you're a fan favorite, and no one will ever question your skill, your heart, whatever, but you get the sense that the MMA community is almost rooting for you to fail because they want to see that Diaz GSP fight so badly?
I haven't given it a whole lot of thought, man. I don't know. Maybe they are. I don't know.
Do you like that position, though, to be the guy who's crashing everyone's party, the spoiler, so to speak?
Yeah, it's anytime somebody's counting me out, anytime somebody doubts me, that gives me motivation to just go in there and perform and prove them wrong. So this is just another scenario where that seems to be the case.
Does it bother you that GSP is openly campaigning for Diaz to win so that he can fight him?
No, George has a legitimate beef with Diaz, and wants to fight him. They have personal issues, so it's nothing personal. I don't take it personally.
He doesn't like him. What do you think of Nick Diaz?
I've never met the guy, so I don't really have much of an opinion on him. He's a great fighter, and that's about the extent of my judgment so far.
In all your years, MMA, you and him, you've been around the sport a long time. You've never crossed paths?
Never.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, I've been around a lot of guys. I never met Nick Diaz.
Now, what do you think of his style overall? He's kind of a guy, obviously throws punches in bunches, doesn't really use the entire arsenal, so to speak, not as many leg kicks and knees as you, but very effective when it comes to striking. What do you think of his entire game right now?
Well, Nick Diaz does have a pretty specific style with his boxing, but I think that he learns extremely fast, and so just because for the most part he comes out throwing hands and boxing, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out and tries to throw leg kicks. I know he's been working on his kickboxing quite a bit, so that's something I have to be aware of.
You haven't fought in 7 months, yet you weren't injured. There was just all this drama going back and forth. A lot of it was because of Nick Diaz in a weird way. How frustrating has that been?
I would have liked to have been a lot more busy in 2011. I only fought once with the win over Don Young Kim, but there's been a lot of stuff that's been out of my hands. Stuff with Diaz, GSP getting hurt, all the mix up of these opponents. It's been frustrating, but for the most part, it's been out of my hands. It's nothing that I really had control over, so I just had to focus on training and preparing for whoever it was that I eventually step in the cage with.
Cesar Gracie told us on Monday that if Nick beats you, he will advise him not to take another fight until George is ready, and it sounds like George may be ready towards the end of the year. Would you do the same thing, or would you be okay with fighting someone else?
I don't know. That's something that I haven't really given any thought to. I'm focused on this fight right now and getting past Nick Diaz. But I think I'd be open to either scenario. If UFC wanted me to fight somebody in the meantime, I think I'd be open to that. And if if they wanted me to wait, or if me and my management team decided that we wanted to wait, that might be the choice we made.
All right, two last questions. Is this the kind of fight that you love, like as just a competitor, a guy who is not going to play any games with you? He's going to come forward. He's going to maybe talk a little smack. You're going to punch him. He's going to punch you in the face. You're going to go back and forth. Is that the kind of fight that Carlos Condit loves?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm a fighter. I love to fight. Nick Diaz is a fighter. We're going to step in there, and we are going to fight.
What's his biggest hole, in your opinion, in his game?
I would say that he takes a lot of damage. His best defense is a strong, overwhelming offense, and I think it gets him into trouble sometimes.
All right, good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.